Dumelang, hello to you out there, be it you in the streets, at home, on the couch. Well, welcome to Mokgadi Legacy. Mokgadi. If you didn't know, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and ring the notification bell for the next video. I believe that you guys are enjoying what you guys are seeing. So today we have for you DJ J Cross. Stick around and see what we have. Take a walk with me.
Know we're meant to be. I promise not to change. You gotta.
Mozi, how are you doing?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm great. Welcome to Mokgadi Legacy.
Thank you for having me.
It's quite great to have you because we've been waiting to have a chat with you.
Wow.
Yes,
That's really
what you're
nice.
doing and everything else that you're looking into,
Sure.
venturing and all that. So I went into your profile and I saw that you're doing modeling, you're a DJ, you
Yeah.
do acting. What else that you do?
I do have a 9 to 5.
Okay.
So that's kind of what really pays the bills.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff that I'm doing is really out of passion.
All right.
You're really trying to, the so-called, the proverbial, extra sources of income, kind of a thing. It's really that,
Yeah.
trying to get a lot of that in. But I think ultimately that's what I want to really pursue on a 9 to 5 or 24/7, right?
Okay.
Rather.
So when it comes to modeling, how did you get into it? Like what was?
So what I did is I went to a fashion designer who I thought to myself, well, I'd love to kind of model your clothes for
Yeah,
you if you don't mind. But then he asked me, do you have training? Have you ever done any of this before? And I said, well, no, I haven't. So then he referred me to somebody else who has an academy,
Yeah.
modeling academy.
For
So I
training.
went for training.
Oh, beautiful.
Exactly. So I went into that.
Yeah.
And I got hold of the guy, and we then started working. Yeah, things are still a bit slow, but I
Yeah.
think they're gonna ramp up soon.
And how do you find yourself within that space? Like how do you actually enjoy being a model, or
Sure.
you do?
I really do, because I think they often say like life is like a fashion show. I think
I
there's a
know,
statement
right?
like-
Yes, because it's fashion on the streets,
Exactly,
everywhere you are, you're
exactly.
actually showcasing
all
yourself.
around you. There's
Yes.
that. So it's this depiction of different aspects of life
Mm-hmm.
that I really like. Because now, if I'm doing, for example, I'm on a runway,
Yeah.
I'm wearing different kinds of attires. Those attires, they depict a certain story.
Yeah.
The designer's story, where they come from, with the stuff that they put on the runway.
True.
So for me, it's the interaction with that and with that story, because they're telling a story,
Yeah.
they're telling you something, and so you kind of interact with that, and you get in the mind of a designer as you walk that runway, as you whether it's a photo shoot or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You need to exude exactly
True.
what is it that they were trying to achieve.
I actually
when they
agree to
designed
that
it.
statement that you just made, because I see you all the time. Your Instagram speaks volume. You always make
We
sure that
try,
you look
we
in
try.
point.
And we try all the time. We have to
I
try.
like that.
Yeah, like it's a brand, right?
Definitely, you're a brand. You're a
Exactly.
brand. You have to make sure that you represent yourself as
Definitely.
much as possible.
Exactly, yeah.
So let's speak about music.
Music.
Yes. What actually got you into the music? Was it somebody in the house, or you just had passion for music?
I think I've always had the passion for
Yeah.
music, and I think it has always been very hidden. It's like a hidden clause in a contract.
You had to
It's
find
that.
yourself.
I had to find myself.
Yeah.
In fact, I almost had to go through a pruning time
Oh,
for me to
beautiful.
find
Yeah,
and
yeah.
collide with music. It was a difficult time in my life, and it was just there. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should start learning how to DJ.
Yeah.
And I went to a friend of mine called Master Chu. He's in Soweto, and we started learning.
Yeah.
And from there, it pretty much took me about two months or so to learn this thing, and I was already performing.
So it
in
only
Soweto.
took you 2 months to be able to know what is it that you're mixing
the buttons,
with the
there's
buttons.
the frequency.
Quite
and-
interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
So I learned that, and it became part of me. It kind of destroyed all the other difficult constructs. Call it the bad times, call it the bad moments, or whatever atrocities that I had to go through at the time. And when I was interacting with music, everything else kind of didn't worry
rebuild
me.
itself. Yeah,
Exactly. It didn't
It was-
worry me.
yeah.
All the problems didn't worry me. I just
Oh.
focused on music.
So that was like another way of you getting therapy from
was
whatever it is that
therapy.
was,
It was therapy.
troubling you. Oh,
Exactly.
beautiful.
It was therapy.
Okay, I see you always on point. You know your
Thank you.
fitness. How do you keep fit?
Fit.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I go to gym,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't been to gym for the past 8 months since I
But
think the beginning of
it
lockdown.
can't tell that. You know.
It's then a diet, so I kind of try to eat well. I try to eat the right kind of stuff. and stay healthy.
Listen to that. You know, it's quite challenging for people to actually stick to diet,
Yeah.
and people don't really understand that having to
Sure.
eat the proper food.
Exactly.
At the end of, let's say, after a few months, it actually shows from your
It's
skin
your
that
skin,
this is
it
the
does,
type of food
it
that you've
does,
been
that you're
eating.
eating. And
So I'm
exactly.
impressed that you're
Yeah.
actually aware of
Exactly.
that.
Remember, if now you kind of playing in the space of modeling and it's
Yes.
about you being a brand in that space, you know, it matters what you put into your body,
Definitely, definitely.
because then it's going to reflect outside.
From the outside,
Exactly.
yes, that's
Exactly.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, how do you manage all this pressure from being a model, DJ, an actor, and your 9 to 5 job? How do you manage?
All right. So most of the time is really about, for me, it's about time management,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And I think the whole lockdown situation has kind of been like a blessing in disguise, because
Yeah.
my 9 to 5, I work from home.
Oh,
All
yes,
I do,
yes.
I open a laptop and I start engaging with my
Yes.
clients. And lucky enough for me, my clients are international clients.
Okay.
So whether you're in Europe, whether you are in, you know, in the Middle East or Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
so I interact with those clients.
Yeah.
So through this device. So then I do find time in between to be able to do the other things that I would like to do, like modeling, like music, you know, whether you are working on beats, whether, you know, you are listening to what's trending in the streets, what's happening in the streets. So you manage your time proper. And I think for me, you kind of have to, because there's a lot of noise in the industry as well, you know. You can very easily sway this way and that way
Yeah,
if you don't have the right kind of
yes,
focus.
yeah.
So for me, I kind of silence the noise and understand exactly where I'm
Where
going.
you're going, yes.
I decide to, you know, to lead the conversation. You know, I steer this ship. If I allow somebody else to steer it for me, I'm gonna find myself in the middle
You're
of
in
nowhere.
somebody else's hands.
Exactly.
you know,
So
yeah.
I need to make sure I take the conversation to where I want it to go
Definitely, I like
in
that.
this industry.
Yeah, I like that because it actually gets to show that you're in control of everything
Exactly,
that is
that's
in
what
your
you need.
space, and you don't just consume noma ini.
Yeah, noma indona,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's quite beautiful. So let's say. Like I said, I was actually looking at your Instagram,
Sure,
and
okay,
I noticed that you are more of what's this? You like exploring nature.
Yeah, like
Yes.
traveling.
Yes, traveling.
Yeah.
Where have you been? Where have you been
Sure.
to? Countries that you've been to?
It's a lot of countries,
But
I'm
just
not gonna lie,
name
but
few.
mostly probably about 25 countries in Africa.
Yeah.
So all the way in the SADC region.
So you've traveled just half or
Of
almost
54
yeah.
countries in Africa,
that's
I've traveled
beautiful,
almost
yeah.
half of that. All the way to Cameroon. That was a nice experience. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the first country I actually traveled and went to in Cameroon, Douala.
Yeah.
And I went all the way up. I think it's in Yaoundé as well. I think you go north of Cameroon, which is south of
Yeah.
Nigeria. So I was almost in Nigeria. So I still want to go. I haven't been to Nigeria. I still
Okay.
want to go.
Yeah.
Then I went to Europe. I went to the Middle East. I went to Southeast Asia. I went to China. You know, South Korea. So
Yeah.
I've traveled around.
Well, that's
so I've been
beautiful.
around.
I just want to know, like, which country that you've been to and you feel that you want to go back, and this, you have actually learned a lot, and there's still more that you want to explore.
Sure. I think for me, it would be Europe. I would still love to go and settle down in Europe at some point, and I've actually been praying about
What's
this.
that one thing that actually stood out for you?
For me, it's about the lifestyle, the peace of mind that you sometimes don't get in your own country.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Not to say that stuff like that don't happen in that country. They do happen, but they seldomly happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's just one thing. So Switzerland for me is one of the most expensive countries in the world. Remember when I went, the bill that I got, it was amazing. to drink a glass of wine, you know, like a shot
A
in
shot,
South Africa is like a
yes.
25 ml, right?
Yeah.
So say you double that, maybe you 3 times that, a
Yeah,
shot, right?
yeah.
That is a glass of wine, and that cost 300 rand if you
What?
convert it.
What?
I was like, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me.
Okay, did you know before you ordered, or you found out after?
I knew that it was an expensive country.
Yeah.
So I went that, I went knowing that,
Yeah.
but I didn't expect it to be.
That
I expected it to
taboo.
be. I expected to be expensive. But the quantity of alcohol that I would have to consume for that price,
It was not worth it. Oh my god.
I didn't expect it at all. So for me, it was like, wow. But then we had a boat cruise.
Yeah.
We went on a ferry.
Yeah.
We saw Tina Turner's house, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd love to live in this country, and it's just one of the countries that I really love. If I cannot live in Switzerland, maybe a Germany or maybe Netherlands, maybe the Netherlands. I'll probably it will be that.
Okay, so from what I'm getting from you, it's actually quite a beautiful thing that you actually get to explore all these countries.
Exactly.
Because in a way that's a diary. You're actually building up a story to tell to the
Exactly.
next generation,
Yeah.
and it could be anybody that's next to you and
Yeah.
everybody. So let's talk family. Tell me about your family.
All right, so me, I'm from the Eastern Cape,
Yeah.
right? Ebisho, status close up, so I'm doing Xhosa as a result. So I came this side about 2001, I think, at Pretoria. It was Pretoria Tech at the time. Yeah, it was Pretoria Tech at the time. And I studied there, got my degrees there, and
So you came to Joburg via studies.
Yes,
And then you
studies.
just found yourself loving this place, and you're like,
I initially loved Pretoria
Yeah.
because Pretoria is more of an administrative capital, but then at the same time for students it's more friendly. Then at the time I looked at Joburg, I was like, it's too fast for me.
yeah.
This is for certain kind of people. It's not for me.
And if you're not in control, or you're not
Exactly, you lose yourself.
Yes, you
You
get
can
driven
easily
by
lose
peer
yourself.
pressure.
Yeah. And then I came, and then I kind of settled down this side. I met somebody at the time. We had a child,
beautiful.
and obviously things didn't really work out as life is. And then I've got about 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 daughter.
Yeah, tell me about your kids.
Yeah, the one is 14 years old.
Yeah.
The second one is 9 and 3 years.
Oh,
The
that's
daughter is
beautiful.
3 years. My
So the
kutsongono.
relationship. Oh yeah, I like that. A family man.
Yeah,
Family.
yeah.
So, if there's one person that you look up to, who's that one person, and what is it that you like about them, or that you've actually learned from them?
There's a lot of people. I think you meet different people for different reasons.
Yes.
For example, my parents, my aunt, who really was there in terms of my upbringing.
Yeah.
I would say that's one person that I can actually say I find strength from, and she does kind of keep me grounded from the teachings that she had given me at the time. So I think from that perspective, family, I think she gives me that. When it comes to, let's say, friendship and social circles, there's a friend of mine called Utebi, Utabo. I call him Major. He's that friend who's always there.
Yeah.
He no matter what. When I went through
That's
my
a true
stuff,
friend, yeah.
That's a true friend.
Yeah.
When I went through my stuff, he was there. He's the guy who was there. When I didn't have a job at the time, where I lost my job, he was the guy who gave me petrol money. He's the guy who paid for me to go to gigs.
Wow, yeah.
So that's that guy, And obviously then there's other people professionally. So my 9 to 5, for example, there's a couple of people that I can reference in terms of my own growth in my career, because I'm in defense. So I'm a senior manager of business development. So I sell military equipment around the world.
Okay.
So I do have people in that space that kind of mentors my own growth.
Yeah.
So to mention him, his name is Mr. Henry Abrahams. He's really one of
I like the fact that you have a number of people that you actually, get some inspiration and learning from them. It's quite beautiful. So let's talk giving back to the community.
Sure.
How are you involved in that, and how active are you?
It's really about, there's a time where we wanted to do like food parcels, I think around the time of COVID, and you know we thought it would be a great idea to go to, you know, whether it's Checkers or wherever, or ShopRite or Pick and Pay, buy some parcels and then distribute them. But then it then dawned on us that there's always regulation even around that sometimes, where you then not allowed, because now where's your social distancing? You know, it was right in the beginning of it, because a lot of people have suffered from that. For example, I would participate in things like gender-based violence. When there's marches, then you go, because you're trying to fight against what's happening in our country. Back at home, you go to families, because you do have, you know, disadvantaged people around. So you walk and you buy groceries, you deliver them, you give them. Your neighbors, for example. A lot of people would like to go to, you know, distant cities or locations or ikasi
to actually help people instead
in your
of
street. There's people who need that, because the assumption we make is, because you're living next to me and I have this kind of lifestyle, therefore you are okay. But you don't know what goes on behind those doors.
But then you must understand that it goes with people are being afraid of being judged by the people that are close to them. You know, I think it's just one of those things. Maybe you might be against it, but that's how I see it.
And I think that sometimes you just need to loosen up and let that pride, hubris,
pride, yes.
It is a killer. In fact, pride is for me, is like cancer. It is, once it has you in your system,
it spreads. It spreads. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I really had a great time chatting to you. Before we can say goodbye to you, please give out your social medias on everybody, where everybody can get you.
On Facebook, I'm JCross, so you double it up. On Instagram, I'm JCrossDJ, so it's JCross DJ, all right? And on Twitter, I'm JCrossDJ as well.
Okay, one last message from you, a message to somebody that's actually watching right now and they would want to get into the business or whatever it is that you're doing. What is the encouragement that you can, you know, give them?
Right. So I think for me, everything and everyone operates within their time zone. Wait for your time. It will come. You just need to wait it up. In America, they can't have 12 because we have 12. They are 9 hours behind. They have to wait for us to be done with our 12. 9 hours later, then they can come and have 12 in their time.
I like.
So which means that if it's my time today, tomorrow it may be your time.
Maybe my time.
It may not be tomorrow. It may not be 2 years from now. It may not be 5 years, but it will come.
Listen.
If you look at Colonel Sanders, I think he's the guy from KFC. Colonel Sanders, for example, before establishing KFC to the brand that we know KFC. I mean, KFC is a household brand. He became very successful at that beyond the age of 60. Some people become successful at 29. Some people become successful at the age of their time at the age of 16, but some get those millions at the age of 16, they lose it by the time they're 21. So it depends on your time zone. So the stars will line up for you too. So just wait for your time. You must now put in the work.
While you're waiting.
While you're waiting. Exactly, because the harder you work, the luckier you become.
Right?
Yeah.
Please look into that camera and say, take a walk with me.
Take a walk with me.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Thank you. We came to the end of our chat. DJ J Cross. I know that you really enjoyed watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Ring the notification bell for the next video. Mokgadi, take a walk with me.